What's up, indigenous earthlings? As you all know, there's a lot of discourse online about the sun heating up and the sun getting hotter, right? And while scrolling the other day, I came across a woman who had a very, very interesting perspective. And so I'm about to share this clip with you all. And I want you to listen to what it is that she's saying about the rays of the sun actually not being what's hot or heating up. It's the earth in connection to the rays making contact with the surface of the planet, right?
I'm saying, y'all talking about the atmosphere is getting hotter, y'all saying the sun is getting hotter, y'all talking about the stuff happening in Europe, and y'all seeing all these viral videos of everything melting in Europe. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm gonna let you know this: it has nothing to do with the sun. Think about this. The sun, we all have the same sun all around the world, from here in Florida in the United States to Texas to Canada to Africa. We all have the same sun, but the temperatures are different in every single space. Why is it different in every single space? Is it because the sun is changing temperatures in different spaces? No. The sun is not changing temperatures in different spaces. The sun doesn't change temperature. It is the land that is controlling the atmosphere. The amount of water in the soil is what cools down the atmosphere. Your weather is different than mine. Your heat is different than mine because of your land. And of course, any of the other pollutions and everything else you got over there. But the land is what is controlling the atmosphere. Think about it. The same sun is in the desert, but we don't feel the same heat in the desert here because the land controls the atmosphere. So when it comes to the people that's thinking that global warming is a conspiracy, I actually don't know where y'all, what realm. I know CERN just got cut off, but I don't know what realm y'all in to be even thinking that. Because it's real. Deforestation, industrial farming, all of that, the tilling up the soil consistently and pulling all of the carbon out of the land when the carbon is supposed to be in the soil to hold the water when it rains. Since the carbon isn't in the soil because they're doing so many negative things to the soil when it comes to the tilling and all of that other BS, the carbon is going up into the air and it's not sitting in the soil where it's supposed to be. So that does not allow the water to sit in the soil where it's supposed to be and cool down the land itself. So the earth is drying out because the carbon isn't in the soil. It's in the air. But good thing this is easily fixable. It just needs to be done on a large scale, which is regenerative farming. If y'all seen the documentaries Groundswell and Kiss the Ground and Common Ground, then you already know this. You already understand what's the next step. Other than that, we are sitting inside of a frying pan waiting until it cooks us up because all the water is leaving. Okay?
I know I could tell you for a fact that as someone who's done like a lot of trails, walking on trails, walking up mountain ranges and things like that in parts of California, here in Thailand, but especially in California, because specifically to what she's saying, you can climb a mountain and be at the top, be elevated, and it's cold. The temperature, it drops. And the reason why I want to specifically use somewhere like California, because California is hot, right? And then you come down the mountain back to the ground, and that's when that California heat hits you, right? Same thing with traveling. I'm a traveler, so you can travel to a country, a town, a city that's at an elevated altitude, closer to the cloud line. And the sun could be shining bright in the sky, and you will literally be cold. You'll need a jacket, you'll need a coat, hat, gloves, depending on where it is that you're at, right? So I found that to be very valid just off of personal experience, where, traveling abroad and being a climber from time to time, that it is actually colder up in the sky. And it's real interesting. One thing she said, though, is that when the rays permeate through the Earth's stratosphere, right, before it hits the ground, up in the sky, there's nothing there. There's nothing for the rays to land on, no matter, nothing that has matter that's solid for it to heat up, right? But mountains are matter. mountains are solid. So even if you're standing on matter, as far as the mountain is concerned, and you're elevated, you'll still be cold. The temperature around you will still be cold. But more so to her point though, when you're on the ground, depending on what ground and region of the world that you're in, you will feel the heat based off of what landmass you're standing on.
The higher that you go up, the colder it gets. We all know that. The higher that you go up, the colder it gets. And I'm like, well, if the sun is as hot as it is, why is it the fact that the higher you go up, the colder it gets? Turns out that the sun rays are not actually hot. Stay with me. Stay with me. The sun's rays are not actually hot because heat is a result of the energy, which is the light energy from the sun being absorbed, and then that is the process of the creation of heat. The absorption is what creates the heat. Our land is absorbing the energy from the sun, and that is giving off heat. When you are up in the air, it is colder because there is nothing up there to absorb the light energy that's coming from the sun. So nothing is up there turning it into heat. It's not enough matter up there to turn to that is absorbing to turn that energy, that light energy that we get from the sun, into heat. So essentially, if you were invisible and you went up there and sat next to the sun, if you were invisible to the sun's rays, you would not burn, because the energy from the sun needs to be absorbed in order for you to heat up. So if you were invisible and you sat next to the sun, you would not burn, because the sun's energy cannot be absorbed and turned into heat. So that's why. Plasma is a different story. Don't mess with no plasma though. The plasma is a different story. I ain't saying that. And then about the microwave, somebody had commented about the microwaves. You can put a cup of noodles in a microwave and you take it out and it's boiling, it's burning. You can't even eat it right away, right? But the microwave itself is not hot. The environment isn't hot. You can take that cup of noodles out and then stick your whole face in the microwave, your whole hand, and it's not hot like how it would be on the stove, right? It's not hot because it is the energy absorption. That type of energy, when it's absorbed, it turns into heat. So this is why when you open a microwave, it don't blow heat all in your face. You can literally just that's like this information is, I don't know, like it's there. We just like.
You know, this time last year, my daughter and I visited Sydney, Australia for 2 months. Yeah, spent the June, July, August in North America is summer. In Australia, it's winter. So we're there with warm sweaters and hats and boots and whatnot, enjoying our time in Australia during Australia's wintertime. Sun shining bright in the sky on some days, and it's cold, maybe 55 degrees, 50 degrees. Their winters in Australia are milder than they are in America, allegedly. I say allegedly because the weather does what it wants to do all over the world, no matter what, in these days and times that we live in. But yeah, so I can definitely relate from being a traveler that the land you stand on dictates the temperature that it's going to be, because we are literally under the same sun. So to her point about carbon and water being in the soil and the water being drained out of the soil, which is making the heat either come up from the ground hotter, or the rays coming from the sun making contact with the ground without the water and carbon in it sufficiently as it should be, is what's making things hotter, right? She gave some really excellent examples, and I really appreciate that, because we've been dealing with theories, I know I have, for decades now. The sun being 93 million miles away, and it comes through the Earth's stratosphere, and then it gets hot when it messes with this chemical and that chemical, and all these different types of theories and variations. But I do agree that as things get hotter, false realities are being burnt away, right? And we are waking up, we having crown loads, and so I tend to come across people's crown loads online because I'm someone who gets crown loads myself. But I also want to say, if you want to be out here in the sun, which you should, and you can do it in moderation, you know, you can like practice, you know, a few minutes at a time, sitting out in the sun, have you some fresh fruit with seeds. Okay, I know if you're in the States that might be a little hard to come by. A lot of the food and the fruit is being messed with, but if you could get your hands on some fresh fruit at some farmer's market, do that. Take that outside with you. Also, get you a copper container. Carbonate your water or your beverages. Don't carbonate like soda. Carbonate your water, and it'll put all kind of minerals in your body when you drink it. That's like really, really, really healthy for you. And lastly, well, no, not lastly, I got a few things. You see that linen? You won't be out in the sun? Have you some fresh linen on, some cotton, some pure fabrics that are breathable. Sawadika, madam. Some breathable fabrics. You know, them synthetic fabrics on your skin in this heat is gonna have you fucked up, literally burning, probably hotter than you would be. No, not probably, hotter than you would be if you had on pure fabrics, because synthetics materials, they have plastic in them, and plastic heats up and it burns in the sun. Jewelry, you know, if you have real silver jewelry, real gold jewelry, real copper jewelry, wear that out in the sun opposed to costume jewelry. If you all watch my content, you know I have a whole boatload of costume jewelry. Love it. But I know good and well if I come outside with that costume jewelry on my neck's going to break out in a rash, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to take a long time to heal. So no, I'm coming out with real metals when I'm going to be out in this hot sun. And lastly, I make content doing makeup for myself. It's fun. It's like a hobby and whatnot because I'm an artist. I also paint and I also sketch and things of that nature. In this heat, oh honey, my skin is the makeup. My bare face is the look. You understand? Because all them chemicals that's in the makeup, but just being painted on is really, really miserable feeling. So this is a real test for womanity, for woman to reconnect with Mother Sun, to reconnect with Mother Earth, to reconnect with Source, even with your hair, okay? Because y'all could scroll right now or Google right now women's braids melting in the sun, like the fuck, and then, you know, wearing other human beings' hair on your head and their DNA being in that hair and it burning and colliding and collapsing with the DNA in your hair is not cool whatsoever. And I really think that women are going to suffer some serious repercussions if they do not take that hair of other humans off of their head, that plastic synthetic hair off of their hair in this sun. No matter how things are heating up, whether it's from the sun, the ground, the sun, both the sun and the earth, whatever may have you, naturality is going to be what's key in order to be able to live and thrive comfortably through these very powerful changes that the earth is going through. So that's all I wanted to say and share with you all, some food for thought for the day. Okay, so y'all go outside, you know, touch some grass, get some fresh air, and love on yourself most of all. And I'll see y'all in the next video.